organisation Undoing Tax Abuse has raised the alarm on alerts issued to consumers who have defaulted on their TV licence payouts. ARTA says the SABC cannot blacklist customers for outstanding payments because the broadcaster is not a credit provider. So will your credit profile be under threat should you be issued with a warning? Let's find out now with our Chief Legal Officer, that's Advocate Stephanie Fick. Advocate, thank you for your time and good morning to you. I mean, if you have received any of the SMSs or emails from the lawyers or legal representatives from the SABC, you would actually be afraid. You would be anxious that perhaps there might be an impact on your credit scoring just because the wording is so alarming and, quite, the capital letters, I'm sure they say a lot. But you're saying that that actually has no bearing in actual fact on one's credit record.
No. The only way anything can have a bearing on your credit in this instance is if the SABC go to court and they get an order. That's the only way that your credit record will be affected, because the SABC, this is not a credit agreement, doesn't fall under the National Credit Act and so forth. So, what one is always worried about is that the SABC has got a right to say that you're behind on your TV license. They have a right to appoint debt collectors that is registered with the Debt Collectors Council, and then they can collect debt on SABC's behalf. But they also need to act a certain way. So what one always, you're worried about how they convey the messaging.
Right.
We also see this with with e-tolls, getting letters of demand. And we all know, if you don't pay immediately, there's going to be legal action. And we all know SANRAL has decided in 2019 already that they're not going to go after outstanding debt in e-tolls. So there's sort of, no matter what they say, I do think that subliminally they want to send the message, you know what, if you're not going to pay, we're going to take action against you. And in certain instances, that may actually be a contravention of the rules, because they can't threaten people.
Well, it's important to have this conversation then, because I'm sure people have received one or two of these SMS I'm about to read you. This comes from a user who posted this on a My Broadband forum, Advocate, and the message they received, or rather an SMS, read, "Stop," in capital letters, "a trace alert being activated on your ID at the Credit Bureau. Pay your TV license now." For someone who doesn't understand the wording, trace alert, what does that actually mean?
Well, if I understand the debt collectors correctly, is you can understand that if you are a legitimate, you want to collect debt. So someone, for example, let's take a store where you have store credit and you bought on credit and you failed to pay them, and now they can't find you. So this trace alert is just an alert with the agencies to say, if the details is updated of this creditor, alert us, please, so that we can, also file our stuff or our notices or whatever we want with this creditor. So it just basically means in the credit world that, a creditor is looking for you and they don't have your updated details, they can't find you. That is in a nutshell what I understand that to mean.
All right, so briefly before I let you go then, if you receive an SMS like this and you're worried or even concerned about the tone, where should you take such a matter?
Counsel for debt collectors. If you feel that they, the way that they deal with your case is irresponsible, lay a complaint, because there are certain rules that they need to abide by. But let me say this. I mean, if you get this type of alert and you feel that, I haven't paid my TV license, then get hold of SABC and pay your TV license. I mean, if you do feel that you need to pay your TV license, but the amount is incorrect, I mean, tell the SABC that the amount is not correct. There is it's controversial, should you pay your TV license, should you not pay your TV license. Now, although you can't get a bad record, you need to decide. So from a personal point of view, and our stance has always been, we do think that the SABC needs to change the way they conduct business. In other words, become a viable business so that people, do not feel that why are they paying. But people should understand that there's a lot of people that the only way they have access to news is SABC, and how many people of us still listen to the radio?
Right.
So, in certain instances, I actually want to say, pay your TV license. It's the right thing to do.
I was about to say, you're tempted, I can see there, Stephanie, to actually go with the pay line. Don't worry, I understand. But we'll leave it there due to time. Always a pleasure talking to you, Advocate Stephanie Fick, talking, of course, about, the messages I'm sure you've received, that most of us have all received. And if you're concerned about the tone or even the amount with which you need to pay your TV license, just simply inquire, of course, with the SABC or with the Council for Debt Collection to assist you in that regard.